Good job. Welcome everybody. Always wonderful to be here with you. So let's just take our time. Arriving, settling in. So finding your seat, sitting in whatever way is comfortable for you, on whatever prop works for you. And just take these first couple of moments to welcome yourself here to practice. So whatever's going on around you in your space, or whatever you've been doing prior to now, can you let that be as it is and just welcome yourself here to your mat, to the practice. Letting yourself really sink and settle into support. Maybe take a couple of slightly longer breaths, particularly longer exhales. Think about your spine being really long, tall, like you're really lifting up, sitting up taller than you would normally sit. Back of the neck is lengthening so that the chin just draws in a little bit, not down, just in a little bit towards the throat notch here. And then just soften around that. We want to stay nice and tall through the spine, but we can soften everything around that. Let the arms, shoulders, hands release down. Pelvis, legs, feet feel heavy and supported. Welcome in your intention for practice, why you are here today. What do you hope to achieve from being here? Feeling into the earth beneath you, maybe a sense of being supported, feeling that sense of support, of ground, balance, stability. All those things, those qualities of the earth. Feeling into country, acknowledging the traditional owners of the country you're on. I'm in Jajjawarang country. If you're comfortable to chant, you can join me to chant a single Om mantra. Hands can be anywhere you like. You can chant or listen. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out with sound. Inhaling. And making your commitment to practice ahimsa, practice of non-harm, of kindness. I'm going to stay sitting. So when you're ready, a big reach out and up. So really reach out through the fingertips. You're trying to reach the arms right up, so you're lengthening through the side body all the way down. Doesn't matter how you bring the arms out. You can bring them out through the sides and down through the sides. You can bring them up through the front, down through the sides, whatever feels good for you. I like bringing my hands down through center because I like this position of my hands. It stretches my wrists. So as I bring my palms down, I'm just pressing my palms gently together. I get this lovely kind of stretch through the inner line there. And one more. But you can be bringing your arms up and down any way you like. And then when you're ready, we're coming into one arm, and let's all go. Okay, I'm going to give you lefts and right. So right arm up, reaching up, and then exhale over to the left. So left hand on the floor or your prop or whatever, just to help you anchor down through this right sit bone. So it's just a little press there. We're reaching hand to the back of the head. So we want to stay lateral when we come up here. We open up, roll the heart up, looking up maybe towards the ceiling, and then exhale, thinking about the sternum rolling down towards the thigh. The elbow will come, but we don't want to drive it from just the arm. We want this rotation and forward bend. So rolling the rib cage, the sternum up to the ceiling, and then rolling down towards this left thigh. And we'll go one more nice deep full breath in, rolling open. And we exhale, roll down. And then release the right hand onto the left knee and take the left arm straight up, reaching up and a little lean over to the right. And then coming back up and release that hand onto the knee, wherever is comfortable. Lengthening the spine, want to be nice and long through the spine, and then pivoting forward from the hips. Keep the spine nice and long. So we're not lifting the chin, we're keeping that nice line through the back of the neck. And can you connect into the breath? So there's a little lift on the inhale, soften on the exhale. And when you're ready on an inhale, we'll lift up, releasing your bottom arm, your right arm, bringing that around behind you. Keep the left hand where it is. Into the twist. The inhale gives you this length, the exhale softens you around. But really feel into that movement of the breath in the body. There's a lovely way that the breath gives movement and liveliness and vitality, animation to the body. And the next inhale, keep the left hand where it is, come back to the front. Right hand comes up to the left ear, right ear down to the shoulder. So we're just taking the head down as far as it'll go naturally. Hand on the side of the head, lifting the head into the hand. So please don't pull the head down any further than what it will go naturally. We're just creating resistance with the hand as we lift the head up. And just releasing that activity, and then lift the head up, turn to face the right knee, chin to the chest. Same here, hand to the back of the head, lifting the head into the hand. We're not pulling the head down. And then release the hands back to the legs, and pause for a minute. Close the eyes if that's comfy, checking in with what it feels like in your body, this sense of something has changed. Just come into the feeling tone. You don't need to think about what it is, but there's a feeling sense that something's different. And then we'll change the cross of our legs and the other side. So one single sun breath with both arms to start with. And exhale down through center, or down any way you like, and then the left arm only. Inhaling, reaching up and over to the right hand. Right hand's on the floor or the prop, so you can press into the floor and get an anchor down through that left side. Then hand to the back of the head, rolling open. So rolling the rib cage up to the ceiling, then rolling it down towards the thigh. Inhale, rolling open. So keep it as smooth and as fluid as you can with the breath, rolling down. And one more. Coming down, pause for a moment. Left hand onto the right knee, right arm up and leaning over a little. And then back to center. Right hand to the left knee, long through the spine, lifting the heart. So nice and long pivot from the hips, coming forward just as far as comfortable. Then let the breath give you that lovely movement, lift and release. And then on the next inhale, lifting up, release the left arm, the bottom arm, and twisting around towards the left. Using the breath here. The inhale, lengthen up, unwind, it happens naturally. You can exaggerate it. The exhale, twisting around. So feel into the natural movement of the breath. And then you can exaggerate that a little. Give the right hand where it is. Let the inhale bring you back to the front. Left hand up to the right ear, left ear to the left shoulder. Hand on the side of the head, lifting the head gently into the hand. So just a little bit of resistance. And then gently release. Turning to face the left knee, hand to the back of the head, chin to the chest, lifting the head into the hand. And releasing. Hands back to the knees, coming into center, feeling center. Again, feeling into whatever sensations you have here in the body. And just stretch the knees, the legs out. You can do anything you like here. We just want to release out through the knees and ankles and hips because the legs have been crossed. We are going to come onto our hands and knees in a moment. I'm going to whip my socks off now. It's a little bit early, but whenever you're ready, coming on to, let's start in child's pose. Your knees can be together or wide apart, whatever kind of space you feel like you need. Sometimes it can feel good to have that pressure of the tummy on the thighs. Sometimes it can feel good to not have it and have the knees quite wide and let there be space for the tummy. Then whenever you're ready, we're coming up and down onto the hands and knees. You'll know this movement. Exhale, a little rounding and pressing back to the heels. Keeping the hands nice and clear on the floor. Inhale, coming up. Lovely movement through the wrists and shoulders, through the spine, hips, knees. Long breaths in. Long breaths out. And we're just moving slowly. The next time you come up, if you want to, just take one leg behind you. So coming up onto the knees, lengthen one leg back, and then knee back to the floor, sit bones back to the heels. And then the other side, stretching that leg back, and then down to the floor and back to the heels. We'll go again each side like that. And we can do a couple more of those, or if you want to, you can add the arm. So if you come up onto your hands and knees, let's say take your left leg back, sweep the right arm forward, and then both back to the floor, sit bones back to the heels. Other side. You can do this also with just the arm if you don't want to do it with the leg. So there's three options: just the leg, just the arm, or arm and leg. The arm and leg, it's a bit more of a challenge for the balance, and it's quite good for us because we're a bit closer to the floor, not as far to fall if we haven't quite got our balance. And then if you want to, add one more, coming up onto the hands and knees, one leg, opposite arm, pausing here. So you can keep coming up and down exactly as we were. You can be working with just the arm or just the leg. And if you want to, curling in elbow towards the knee, or maybe you're just curling the elbow in or just curling the leg in, reaching away. It's a really lovely heating practice, great for strengthening the back of the body and the core, actually, to draw that leg in. One more time, drawing together. Inhale, lengthen away. Hand and knee back to the floor, back to the heels. Same on the other side if you want to. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can be doing something different if you just want to work with just the arm or just the knee drawing in. Go for it. But 3 times, whichever version you've chosen. Then hand and knee back to the floor, back into child's pose. So we can pause here for a moment. And I'm going to add downward dog. So inhale up onto the hands and knees. If you want to, exhale, downward dog. And of course you can always stay with just child's pose, then onto the hands and knees. Then knees back down and back to child's pose. So a little vinyasa. Adding downward dog. Come through a couple of times in and out of the pose, and then maybe on the 3rd or the 4th time, if you want to, you can hold the pose or any pose. Pause in any of the 3 poses. If you're choosing downward dog to pause, you can just walk out through the legs if that works, wriggle around, bend the knees, straighten the legs, come up onto the toes, try and lengthen the heels, changing it up, just getting movement, warming up the ankles, legs, hips, shoulders, spine, pressing the hands down, pressing the balls of the feet down. Knees back to the floor, back to the heels, and rest in child's pose proper. So whatever that is for you. I like my forehead resting on my fists, so you can choose whatever comfortable version of child's pose you like. Just to take a moment. And then we're going to come to standing. You can do that any way you like. I'm going to do that through downward dog. So if you want to join me from downward dog, just a little walk forward with the feet or a step back with the hands or a bit of both into Uttanasana. And then using the legs, pressing the feet down to come all the way up and all the way down with the hands. Pausing here in Tadasana. Whatever that looks like for you, checking in. We come back into that feeling tone of ground and stability. What does that feel like for you? As we take that feeling from sitting into standing. So we want to really try and drop down into the feet, feel that support, balance, stability from the earth. Beautiful. Let's bring our palms up. So your arms can be at any height, it doesn't matter, and my arms will be a little bit bent, but it's the whole line of the arm that's rotating. So it's not just our arm here that's moving, we actually want this to move. So this is what will be moving, this joint here, not just this joint here, because this joint moves independent to here. So inner line of the arm, whole inner line, including the upper arm, helps the shoulders roll back, both sides. reaching out through the fingers. So I'm really trying to, my arms can go straighter, but it feels better for me for my arms to be a little bit bent, but I am engaging through my hands and really lifting up through my little finger side here. Shoulder blades are squeezing together like you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. I don't think that's even possible. That's the sensation. And then we're going to roll the hands forward, roll the thumbs up, forward, down, lift the thumbs up behind, same thing. It's happening in this joint here. Roll the shoulders forward so the shoulder blades are broadening across our back. And then reverse it again, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting up through the little fingers. So as we do that, we're really opening through the chest. And now as we roll forward, opening through the ribs at the back, or the shoulder blades at the back. Technically not the ribs. A couple of times. So I've got one shoulder that's a bit noisy and clunky. I don't know if you can hear that. My microphone's kind of close to it. Every time I roll it back, it clunks a bit. And then from here, we're going to do opposite hands. So as we do opposite hands, it's not just the arm and the shoulder. I want you to think about rotating the heart as well. So as we bring one arm forward, bring the torso around. Try and keep the pelvis stable, but we're looking towards that opposite hand. And then change both sides. So we're really having that lovely twist through the torso as well. Other side. Good through the chest and the neck as well when we add this little twist through the top of the spine. Now let's go back to both palms up, shoulder blades squeezing together, down, shoulder heads rolling forward. One more time up. And release the arms down. And give them a bit of a whatever you like, really. Shake out, a bit of a roll. So we're going to come into this wall twist. Now you don't have to do it at the wall. You never have to do it at the wall. The difference is when we do it at the wall, it becomes a closed twist as we reach over here. So we get more length through the outside here, through the back of the shoulder blade, more rotation closing down here. When we do it away from the wall, we get more opening here because we can take this arm back further. So the main work in the pose happens here on this side, so through the front of the body. So it's up to you where you go. And as we come here, we're just coming across to our shoulder. I feel like at the moment I need this kind of reach through the back so that, you know, the head of the lats are coming through there. There's a whole heap of work that's happening through the back of the shoulder when we do it in the closed version. But it doesn't matter. In fact, we might do both. We'll do a couple of rounds with the wall and then we'll step forward and do it without the wall. But if you don't want to do it, if you just want to do it standing, that's absolutely fine. So whatever distance you need to be away from the wall to make this a bit of effort. And we're keeping our eye on our hands so we get this work through the upper chest and neck as well. So hands on the thighs, right hand, eyes on the right hand. Inhale, lifting up, doesn't matter how high it comes. I like to take it high. I feel like I get a bit more of a stretch when it's higher. Exhale, follow that hand with the eyes all the way over to the opposite side. So the hips try and stay forward and there's a reach here. We're looking for the reach. Inhale, opening back out to the right. Exhale, back down to the thigh. The whole time the eyes stay on the hand. If you want to, you can use a mudra, and this point where the thumb and index finger touch, that can be your focal point. Other side, inhale, opening up. Exhale, reaching over to the opposite side. So it's a real reach. Try not to twist through the pelvis. Inhale, opening. Exhale, back down to the thigh. Back to the right side, breathing in. Backs of the fingernails, or the fingernails to the wall, over to the other side, finger pads to the wall. Inhale, opening. Exhale down. And the left side, breathing in. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. Let's just take a step forward away from the wall, and we'll do the version without the wall. So as we inhale here with the right, we can take this right arm back as far as we can, as we want to. Again, we don't want to be twisting the hips, and then we get this lovely lengthening through the front side. Exhale all the way over to the shoulder, so the left shoulder, drop the chin down towards the collarbone. So to keep your eyes on the hand. Inhale, opening back out behind to the right. Exhale, down to the thigh. Last time through, breathing in, big reach back, just through the upper body. There's a rotation, pelvis stays stable. Over to the right shoulder. Inhale, opening. And exhale to the thigh. Beautiful. Let go of the mudra, standing upright. A bit of a moment here, whatever feels good for you, to wriggle or stay still, noticing. Then a nice big wide step out and the feet on an angle. So goddess vinyasa. I think I've got my camera down far enough. Hopefully you can see my feet. And as always, we'll go in and out with the breath to start with this first round, and then you're welcome to hold it anytime you like. So let's start with an inhale, out and up with the arms, legs are straight on the inhale. We bend on the exhale, out and down, bring the fingertips to touch in front. Inhale, straighten, palms up through center, palms down, exhale, bend. Inhale, out and up, straighten. Exhale, out and down, bend. Hands behind. Backs of the hands on the back of the body. Inhale, slide up to the armpits as you straighten. Exhale, press forward. So really try and press the palms. So we've got this lovely stretch on the wrist, and then bend the wrist. So we've got this stretch on the back, top of the arm. Inhale, opening out. Exhale, soften down. Great. Inhale. Exhale. You can stay in the squat if you want to, or stay with every inhale straightening and every exhale bending. It's entirely up to you. Exhale, hands to the back of the body. And you might just decide to straighten at random times and bend at random times, completely fine. Pressing forward. Fingers to the thumbs. Inhale. And exhale. Take a little break in between. Inhale. Last round. Exhale. Breathing in. So if you press your feet down into the floor, it makes it a little bit easier through the pelvis. Breathing in and out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Great. Straighten the legs. Press the palms down, bend the knees. We're going all the way down to the floor. Oh, now I did mean to say a block might be handy. You'll need it a bit later, but it might be handy here as we begin to move from side to side. It's entirely up to you. You don't need the block if you don't want it, but it can help here just with a bit of support. So as you come down towards the floor, turn the heels out so the feet are parallel with each other. So rather than angled out, bring them in. And into this forward bend here, parsvakonasana, wide leg forward bend. And then we're going to walk our hands and pivot our feet around to the right. So you're up on the toes of the back foot, and then drop the back knee down. So again, you can use your block here for a bit more space and height, completely okay. Pressing the feet down, lifting up. Hands can be wherever you like. You might choose to have them wide or cactus or up, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to bring the right hand to the right knee. So whatever knee is in front, that same side hand is going to that knee. The other arm up, or it can be on the shoulder or on the hip, and then leaning over to the right. So whatever knee is in front, that's the side you're leaning to. Into this lateral movement, lovely long line down from the arm, the armpit, down through the side body, outside of the hip, down through the outside of that left leg. And then coming up, both arms up, we'll exhale both hands down to the floor or to your block, it doesn't matter. Lifting the back knee and step forward into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Bend the knees, look forward, so we want this little squat first, press the feet down, coming up. We'll exhale into chair pose, Utkatasana, let the hands come to the heart, we're just coming down, press the bum back, and then continue folding down to the floor. We just want the little squat in between. Taking the left leg back, and we're going to walk our hands and pivot our feet back to the long edge of the mat, or back to the front where we started. So in this wide-legged forward bend. Moment here. And then we'll go to the other side. So pivot the legs, walk the hands around to the left, come on the toes of that back foot, and then drop the back knee down. Any way you like with the arms, whatever kind of feels comfy as you come up. So the more you press your feet down, the easier it is to lift the torso up and to open through the body. And then left hand to left knee, or whatever leg is in front, that same side arm to the knee, opposite arm up and leaning over to the opposite side. So if your left knee's forward, you're leaning over to the left. Lovely. I love this through the hip flexors. I can feel this through my side body, right down through my leg. So I'm pressing a little bit with my left hand onto my left knee just to get me a little bit more upright so I can feel a bit more open rather than, collapsing down. Coming back up, you can sweep both arms up if that suits you. Both hands down to the floor, either side of the front foot, or use your block. Lift the back knee and step forward. You might have a couple of little steps, little hops, completely fine. Into Uttanasana. Drop the sit bones down, lift the heart, so you're in a little bit of a squat first, then press the feet down, straighten the legs coming up. Palms together, sit bones go back as the hands come to the heart space. Just a brief moment here as you continue then down into Uttanasana. Stepping back with the right foot and then walking hands back to the center, pivoting the feet back around you, back to the start, bending the knees a little bit, so just soft through the knees. We're going to come upright from here. Sweeping the arms out and up. Exhale, sweeping the arms out and down. Coming back down to the floor. Got another round. So, around to the right. Pivoting the feet around, dropping the back knee. So you're in this low lunge. Press the feet down, and notice as you press the feet down, there's a little lift that automatically happens. Can you respond to that? Really, again, anywhere you like with the arms, whatever feels good for you. You can even have them behind your back or on your thigh. This time we're coming into the twist. So I've got my right leg forward. Whatever leg you have forward, you're twisting towards that leg. So you can do this with your hands, one arm behind or hands on the knee, or if you want to have a go at reaching the arms out at shoulder height, maybe even looking to the hand behind you. So it's a bit of a challenge for the balance. Arms reaching away, fingertips reaching away from each other. On the inhale, twisting back to the front, bringing the arms up, and then sweeping them down to the floor either side of that front foot, lifting the back knee, the same little Vinyasa through here, stepping forward into Uttanasana. Bend the knees deeply, lift the heart from here, press the feet down and come up. Exhale, hands to the heart, sit bones back, so into chair pose. We have a moment here in Utkatasana, and then continue down to the floor. Big step back with the left and pivot the body back to the front. A moment here in center. And then we'll come around to the other side, pivoting the feet around to the left, walking the hands around to the left, back knee down to the floor, pressing the feet down. Look for that lift up, coming up, and into the twist. Exhale. So arms can be reaching out. You can have one arm on your knee, one wrap behind the body, anywhere that's comfortable. You might still be doing cactus. I find it a bit harder to do it with cactus arms. So if there are any issues, just wrap the left arm behind you and the right hand on that left knee. Or if you've got the space, you can reach the arms out. And maybe even look towards that arm that's behind you. Try not to let this front knee roll out. Try and keep it above the ankle. Yep. Back to center when you're ready. Hands down to the floor, either side of the front foot, lifting the back knee, stepping forward. Bend the knees. As these little squats, this weight bearing is so good for us, so good for our health. Exhale again into Utkatasana, strengthening the legs, and then folding down into Uttanasana. Just moving really slowly. Big step back with the right foot. Pivoting back to the front, and then press the feet down. We'll come up. Release the hands down through center. Just have a little rest here. We're going to go through one more round, I think. Good job. Inhale. So take your time, nice and slow. Exhale, pivot forward. I like to, my knees are a lot off lock as I come forward here to give me a bit more support. Walking the hands around to the right. I'm up on the toes of that back foot. So you have an option here, and you can be using your block to have a go with the knee up. Please bring the knee down if that is a better option for you. But if you want to have a go with the knee up, it's quite a challenge for the balance. But if the knee is up, you're on the toes, you haven't got the heel down. So we're not in warrior one, we're in a high lunge. Press the feet down. So this is where it's really important. The more you can press the feet down and get that feeling of lift upwards, the easier it is to come up. Anywhere you like with the arms. We're going to come into the twist. So it's a challenge for the balance. Maybe just start by wrapping the arms around, twisting around to the right. Then if you feel like you've got the balance, you can have a go at opening the arms out and maybe looking behind you. I can't quite look behind. And then on the inhale, coming back to the front, and then hands down to the floor. Well done. Step forward. Good job. Bend the knees, sweeping the arms out and up, coming up. Chair pose, exhale. Continue down into Uttanasana. Stepping back with the left foot. I'm going to bring the heel down at the back this time. So this is different to where we were just before. And I've just moved my right foot out a little bit, so I've got a bit of space. So we have got our heel down this time. And we're going to bring our right elbow up onto the right knee. So you can be doing this absolutely with the knee down. Do exactly the same thing. You have your knee down if that is a better option for you. So you can stay here. We want to try and have not very much weight in this right knee. And then if you want to, anywhere you like with this arm, it can stay behind you. You can come straight up. You can come over on an angle. You can choose kind of where you'd like to be here. but try and get, all of this doing the work rather than just collapsing here onto the knee. And then if you want to, when you're ready, we can sweep up into Warrior Two, lifting our body up and reaching our arms out. That's beautiful. Lovely work. Looking down this right arm, and then we're going to windmill our arms down to the floor. Walking our hands back to the front and bringing our feet back into parallel. Let's release here for a breath or two in wide leg forward bend, parsvakonasana. Nice time to use your block if you need to. Not even if you need to, just if you want to have a little bit more support. And then we'll pivot around and do the other side. So everything comes around to the left. On the toes of the back foot, knee up or down. Your choice here whether the knee's up or down, but we want to be up on the toes, heel off the floor. Press the feet down. Look for that lift to bring you up. Anywhere you like with the arms. And so we're twisting. I'm twisting away from you. I'm twisting to the left leg. Wrap the arms around the body to start with. It's a lovely option. You can have the front hand on the knee if you wanted to, but I like it kind of wrapped around to my shoulder. And then if you've got the space, or if you want to, you can have a go at opening the arms out. I can't quite take this left arm back. And to really challenge your balance, you can have a go at looking behind you, but it's harder. Whenever you feel like you're ready to come back, coming back to the front, sweep the arms up or out, and then sweep the arms down. Good job, step forward. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out, coming up. Oh, I can really feel my legs working. Down into chair pose, Utkatasana. And then down to the floor, Uttanasana. Big step back with the right, heel down at the back. So toes are out on an angle, heels down. Press the feet down, let that left elbow come up onto the left knee. So you can be doing this, absolutely doing this with the foot, knee down at the back. Anywhere you like with this top arm, but just check that the weight here, that you're using your legs here. Can be up, can be wrapped around behind you, can be reaching over on an angle. If you're in the full pose, think about rolling, there's bottom ribs underneath, so you're rolling the heart up to the ceiling. It's a beautiful pose, lovely lateral pose. Parsva means lateral, konasana is the bound angle, which you would do this kind of thing, but we're not doing that today. Who wants to do that, really? On an inhale, sweeping, windmill both arms up into Virabhadrasana 2, looking towards these left fingertips. And we'll windmill both hands down to the floor, and then pivoting back to the front. Our wide leg forward bend, we'll soften here for a couple of breaths. We're relaxing down, releasing the back of the neck, releasing the shoulders. And then anytime you're ready, just turn the heels in, bending into the knees like we did at the very start, sweeping the arms out and up. And exhale, out and down. Well done. Such a good job. Step forward, together. Sorry, step the feet together. Come, whatever your Tadasana is, pausing, checking in. Beautiful. And just noticing how that feels. I love coming back into Tadasana from the wide leg position. There's just something that's changed in my lower body that gives me a sense of feeling more balanced and stable and steady. And I don't really need to articulate, through the muscular body what has happened. It's hard for my mind not to go there, but really I just need to feel that something has changed. There's a feeling tone to it as well. I try and stay with that sense of it. Beautiful. We've got our final standing balancing pose, which will be tree pose. So remember, you can always use the wall for a bit of support here, not right up against the wall, but just close enough to the wall that you can sense it's there to stop you feeling unsafe, if you feel unsafe in terms of being balanced or not balanced. Doesn't matter which leg. I'm coming into my right leg, left heel above the ankle. So start here in this position first, and you never need to move away from this. Pressing this supporting leg down so it's nice and strong, knees unlocked, and you're lifting up through the spine out of this hip. Finding a single point of focus, and once you feel like you've got that nice steady connection down here, if you feel like you've got it, you might not have it, in which case stay here. But if you feel like you can move your foot to the calf, have a go at that. If you want to go to the inner thigh, have a go at that. But here is a good spot for me. Anywhere you like with the arms, they can stay exactly where they are now. You can bring them together at the heart. You can keep them here. You can reach them up into the sky. You can keep them here. You can open them out wide branches. You can keep them here. It doesn't matter where the arms are, whatever feels right for you. And let's try and have 6 breaths in this pose. So eyes focused on your single point. This is about focused attention. And maybe, one part gets tired, the arms get tired, you can bring them down and keep balancing, or maybe the leg gets tired, you could slide the foot back down, toes back to the floor and stay in that first position. I don't know, I'm not counting, I'm talking, I'm just guessing. Let's say that's about 6. Coming back through with the arms if you've got them wide, and then when you're ready, releasing that foot without too much fussing, noticing that sensation. It's pretty intense. And there's a clear feeling of being a bit unbalanced, which I love, as you know. This feeling a bit weird is very, very good for our brain. If we can just be present to feeling weird and different. We're all a bit weird out there in the world. Sometimes we're uncomfortable with it. There's no need to be. Weird's good. Other side. If you need to give that leg a twirl out, do that. Otherwise, exactly the same or different. It doesn't matter. If you want to do something different on this side, you can. Start here, stay here. This might be where you stay for the whole thing. Don't do anything with your arms. It's completely fine. There's a bit of balance going on. There's a bit of external rotation in the hip. Our centre of gravity has changed because the weight isn't dropping down evenly through both feet. So stay here, it's good. Find your point of focus. If you want to bring the foot up, you can. Keep it on the floor if you want to. You can go to the inner thigh if you want to. Bringing the palms together if you want to, keeping them by the sides. Doesn't matter, you can keep the hands here. You can take them up into the air. You can keep them here above the head, and you might choose to do something different on this side, maybe keeping them here rather than opening them out. Or you can open them out. Let's try our 6 breaths here. I'm going to try and count to myself. It's about 6. Oh, I wanted to talk though. That was hard. Hands back down to the heart. And then releasing out of the leg. Noticing that shift, that sensation through the supporting leg. I get that really intensely in my ankle. But it moves so quickly and just reminds me how quickly things change. That if we can be present to any experience, it will change. Everything's changing all the time. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Let's do a little bit of uttanasana just to counterpose all of that. Keep it really simple. Breathing in, sweep the hands behind. Exhale, soften the knees as you fold forward to the hands to the floor, towards the floor. Inhale, coming back up, hands behind. Exhale, release. I might just do 3 more, any version you like, with the hands behind you, or you can open the arms out. You can be sweeping the arms overhead. We're counterposing. So if you just think about, essentially we want to move symmetrically, moving the body in an even way. We're lengthening through the spine, the backs of the legs a little. We're just trying to bring our spine back into kind of a neutral position. We'll go 1 more. Again, you can do any version you like. And then we're going to come and lie down whenever you're ready. Have your block handy. Come down for our little rest in anything you like, any pose you like. Legs can be anywhere you like. If it's cold where you are, you can put a bit of gear on before you get too settled. Just a minute here. Just, you know, whatever. I just like my legs bent. I feel like I'd like to keep my knees bent today, so I'm just going to rest here. No technique, there's nothing to do. You can focus the mind on the breath if you wanted to, but that's doing something. You might like to just let the mind wander off. And then bringing your attention back to your breath, we'll do some more focused breathing now. Longer inhale, longer exhale. Nose to navel. Long breath out, releasing navel to nose, and the lower tummy, actively draw that in and up. Bring the pelvic floor with it. And relax the tummy and the pelvic floor into the nose. And then exhale, drawing the lower tummy in and up. Pelvic floor draws it up gently. Maybe 2 more breaths like that. Relaxing the abdomen and pelvic floor with each inhale. And then from here, let's draw the knees up, hands onto the knees, arms are straight. Inhale here. Exhale, draw the knees onto the tummy. So we're putting a bit of pressure onto the tummy here. Inhale, press the knees away. We're pressing the knees into the hands, so we're getting a bit of resistance here. exhale, drawing them in, elbows are bending. So when we inhale and press away, the pelvis tilts forward, so becomes, lower back is lighter on the floor. When we exhale, the pelvis tilts back, the lower back presses into the floor. Just a couple more. With the breath, long breaths. This time when you pull the knees in, just give them a real hug. And then we're going to move through a little vinyasa here that has bridge pose in the middle. So from here, we're drawing the knees in. As we inhale, take the arms overhead and straighten the legs up to the ceiling. And then as we exhale, bend the knees first, then feet to the floor, hands to the floor. Inhale, lift the hips up off the floor, take the arms overhead into bridge pose. And then exhale, lower the hips, bring the arms over, let the hands come to the upper thighs. Feet just off the floor. So we don't want any pain in the lower back, but we want to try and get the core really engaged. Then the exhale hugs the knees into the chest. There are 3 movements. Inhale, legs up, arms overhead. And then exhale, we're bending the knees back to the tummy first, then feet and hands to the floor. Inhale, hips up, arms overhead. Exhale, lowering down, hands to the upper thighs. Inhale, feet just off the floor. Exhale, hug the knees in. Couple more rounds to do. Legs go up first, hips come up second, feet come up third. Take your time, doesn't matter if you do something different. Whatever you're doing, you're connecting to the breath, moving and breathing. One more round after this round. Long reach up with the heels and the hands. Big reach up with the hips. And then see how close you can get your feet to the floor. Take your time. Smooth, fluid breath, strong, fluid movement. Once you get to hug the knees in, give them a nice hug, rock, circle, whatever it kind of feels like. A nice thing for you to do here. And then just take maybe the left foot down to the floor, keep the right leg hugging in. And then just bring that right ankle across the right knee. So you got this kind of figure 4 shape. And you can just gently let the legs rock from side to side if you want to. You can stay here. It's a lovely stretch for the hips. If you want a bit more, you can lift that left foot off the floor and hug the knee in. You can have the hands around the thigh or the shin, just drawing that knee in a little bit. But please keep the foot on the floor if that is a better option for you. And it's not about whether you can do it, it's about whether you need to do it today or want to do it today. Sometimes we just want to work less. And listening to that call is the practice of ahimsa. Letting that left foot come back down to the floor. If it's off the floor, cross the right leg completely over the left leg. Left hand's up on the right knee. Open the right hand out beside you. And then on the exhale, let the knees come over to the left. Lovely, lovely twist, but also this beautiful lengthening through the outside of this right side. If you wanted to, you could take that right arm up above the head even. I like it it's actually a bit above shoulder height. It feels good for me, my armpit about there, but you can take it up above the head if it feels better as well. Or gives you something that you feel like is useful. If your arm is overhead, bring it back down to shoulder height, and then on the inhale, legs lift back up, uncross the knees, moment in center. And then hugging in the left knee, give it a nice squeeze onto the tummy, the right foot's on the floor, and then pop that left ankle over the right knee. And the left leg is poking out towards the left. Hand on the thigh, a little bit of a press, not too much. Feel how nice it is when you just rock the legs from side to side a little bit. And this side, maybe here's a good place to stay, or maybe you've got a bit more that you can lift that right foot off the floor, draw the right knee in. You can also rock the legs from side to side here if that works. It's a little bit harder here, but it does give you a little bit more if you feel like you need it. And then right foot to the floor. Cross the left leg over the right leg, right hand on that left knee. Left hand opens out to shoulder height, and any exhale takes the legs over to the right. Once you're here, just let the body soften into the pose for a couple of breaths. And any inhale unwinds, uncrosses the legs. And we've got a final little restorative pose here. So just grab your block, feet onto the floor. We're going to lift up the hips off the floor and slide the block under. So the block's either going to be that height or that height. Let's not go up here too high for restorative. So there or there is good. Let the back of the pelvis, so across the back of the sacrum, not into the lower back. Let that rest on the block. Hands, arms can rest anywhere you like. We're going to have about a minute here. Lovely feeling of the lower abdomen just softening. Your feet can be a little bit wider if that lets you feel more comfortable and supported. Another 3 nice long deep breaths. If you're feeling really comfy and delicious here, stay here, you don't have to move. But if you want to, lift our hips up off the block and slide the block out. Let the lower back and the hips come to the floor, and then you can hug the knees in for a bit. Circle, rock, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to come over onto our hands and knees or into our child's pose. Find a little counter pose if you want to. Stay in child's pose or come up and down onto the hands and knees. It just helps to really reset through the spine and the pelvis after the back bend. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to sit for our pranayama. So whatever kind of props you like for pranayama, just sitting up nice and tall. We're completely running out of time, so we'll just do maybe 3 rounds of our Anuloma Ujjayi pranayama, where we inhale with Ujjayi through both nostrils, exhale without Ujjayi through alternate nostrils. So there's 2 breaths in 1 round. Inhale both, exhale left, inhale both, exhale right. So a deep breath in and out through both nostrils to begin. And then when you're ready, inhaling through both. Pause for a moment, bring the hand up, block the right, exhale through the left. Pause for a moment, lower the hand, inhale through both. Pause for a moment, block the left, exhale through the right. Pause for a moment, lower the hand. 1 round, 2 more rounds, take your time. It's 4 breaths. Round ends with an exhale through the right. And when you've finished your rounds, you can stay sitting, but you've got a few minutes left. Breath in and out through both nostrils, or you can come to lie down. But still let that focus of the breath be in and out through both nostrils. Feeling yourself fully supported here. And come into the feeling tone of this end of our practice. Everything we've done from the start to the finish. We can feel that in the body. It has an effect on the body, the heart, the mind. Can we rest here, being present to what we're feeling and sensing right now? Maybe it's a sense of quiet, ease, peace, spaciousness. Maybe noticing the body's natural vibration of life, pulse of life through you. And the way the breath's easing in and out effortlessly. Feel into your wholeness, your fullness here, your awesomeness. Poem from Dana Folds is called Joy for No Reason. I am filled with quiet joy for no reason save the fact that I'm alive. The message I receive is clear. There is no time to lose from loving, no place but here to offer kindness, no day but this to be my true, unfettered self and pass the flame from heart to heart. This is the only moment that exists. So simple, so exquisite, so real. Joy for no reason. You are welcome to stay exactly where you are for as long as you want to or can. If you want to join me in chanting Om, you're welcome to, or you can listen. Inhaling. A deep sense of gratitude, honour and respect for yourself, for each other, for these ancient teachings of yoga that bring us together. May the ripples of our practice touch, heal and nourish beings everywhere. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me.